Hey, hi everyone. Hope you're all doing good. So, in the previous lectures, we have seen how SQL commands are used to retrieve data from the database and also what are all the basic data types that are mostly used in the SQL. So, if you have missed out those videos, please visit to our channel and watch those videos before watching this. In proceeding to the previous videos, before moving into the actual SQL commands like DDL commands, data definition language, and DML commands, data manipulation language, and DCL commands, data control language. So before moving on to those commands, we must have a basic idea on how to create a database and how to view the database. I mean, view in the sense what are all the databases that are available and also how to use a database. You can't just simply work on a database without making the database as a current database, and also how to clear the CLI. Let me show you those things through the command line interface, because when you know how to work on a command line interface, you can easily work on the GUI, because the toughest part is on the CLI, not the GUI. So I am using MySQL command line. So let us get to know how to create a database. The basic syntax of creating a database is create followed by database followed by database name. So here we are giving database name as Vidya Vihanga. As in like the general programming case where we used to keep semicolon at the end of the each line. So here also, while working on the commands, we need to use the semicolon at the end of the each command. So now it is sure that query is okay. That means the query got succeeded and it has created the database. So now you need to know whether the database is created or not. To know about that, we will be using show command followed by the databases that are residing in this followed by the semicolon. So now this command will display all the databases that are available in my system. So here you can see that as we have created Vidya Vihanga, so it appears here. That means our query got succeeded and we have created the database called Vidya Vihanga. And also you can see that the cap, Charan and Ram test. These are all the databases that I have created, and also there will be some things that will be created by the system itself. Those are assign and information schema and performance schema. So we can't touch and modify those things. Before working on the database Vidya Vihanga, you cannot simply just give the commands and just start working on it. First you have to use the database Vidya Vihanga. So to use the database, you need to know currently in which database you are residing. For that, we will use status command followed by semicolon, which will show the details of the current database. As you can see that we are not using any database here, like we are not connected to any database. And also it shows the version of the MySQL command line that you are using. For my part, it is 8.0.21 version. Even at the top of the command line, you can see that MySQL 8.0 command line client. So in the same way, not only the connection to the database and not only the version of the database, it will also list out some other things, like what is the uptime, what is the TCP port that is connected, what are the threads that are active. So it will display all the details by using this status command. Now to start working on Vidya Vihanga database, you need to connect to the database. So to connect to the database, you will use the command followed by the database name, that is Vidya Vihanga, and followed by the mandatory thing semicolon. So now you can see that it was displaying the database is changed. So now you can actually check it whether the current database is Vidya Vihanga or not. So you can use the status command again, and you can see here the current database is Vidya Vihanga. Before, the current database is nothing. That means you are not connected to any database, so your commands will go in vain. And now you are connected to the database Vidya Vihanga. And now one more thing is how to clear all these things. If you don't have that much interest to check all the commands that you have worked on, you can just simply use the command system followed by CLS and followed by the mandatory semicolon. This will clear all the things that you have previously worked on. And now you want to drop the database that you have created. So for that, first let us see what are all the databases that are there. So as said before, show database is a command that will display all the databases that are available in this system. So now you want to remove the database that you have created. So for that, you need to use the drop command followed by database, which is the common syntax for dropping a database, and followed by these two things will give the database name and the regular semicolon. So now query is OK. It means that the command which we have given has executed properly and the database is dropped. Now you want to know whether actually the database is dropped or not. So for that, again, just use the show databases command, which will display all the databases. So now you can see that here there is no Vidya Vihenga database that you have created because you have dropped it. So in this way, we'll be knowing how to create a database and how to drop a database, how to clear the command line interface to have a very good view on the command line. So moving on further, we'll be learning on DML commands, DDL commands and DCL commands. So don't miss out those videos. Please subscribe to channel for some good technical content. Thanks for watching.